Hello students, myself Dr. Arjun Kataria and we are going to learn about RBC indices and absolute WBC count. So let's get started. So before moving further, these are our objectives we should able to learn after this video. So first one is packed cell volume or hematocrit. Second one is red cell count. Third one is hemoglobin concentration. Fourth one is mean corpuscular volume or MCV. Fifth one is mean corpuscular hemoglobin or MCH. Sixth one is mean corpuscular hemoglobin concentration or MCHC. Seventh one is color index. And eighth one is oxygen carrying capacity of blood. The next one is microcytic RBC, normocytic RBC, macrocytic RBC, and the hypochromic RBC, normochromic RBC, and hyperchromic RBC. So first one, packed cell volume. What do we mean by packed cell volume? First of all, if we take the blood and anticoagulate it, then if we centrifuge it, then the cells will come down and plasma will remain up. There will be a thin buffy coat made by WBC and platelets between the plasma and RBCs. This volume of blood which is occupied by RBCs when they are packed obviously is called packed cell volume. That's why it's called packed cell volume. Other term of PCV or other term for PCV is hematocrit as well. So here we can see that we took the blood, we put some anticoagulants, and then after the centrifugation we got plasma, buffy coat in the middle, and the bottom of the test tube there's packed erythrocytes. The plasma is 55% of total blood. Buffy coat contains less than 1% of leukocytes and platelets, and the erythrocytes are containing 45% of total blood. So this volume which is containing packed erythrocytes is called packed cell volume. For example, if I take 100 ml of blood, then the PCV will be 45 ml. So next one is red cell count. What is the red cell count? It is the number of RBCs in 1 unit of blood. For example, in 1 cubic millimeter of blood, the number of RBCs present in that volume will be called RBC count or red cell count. So usually in normal persons, in 1 cubic millimeter of blood, there is around 5 million RBCs. So in normal person, in 100 cubic millimeter of blood, the packed cell volume will be 45 cubic millimeter, but the RBC count will be 5 million into 100 cubic millimeter. So 500 million per 100 cubic millimeter of blood. Let's see some cases. So here we have two anemic patients having same PCV as you can see here of 25%. Case 1 having less number of RBC present compared to case number 2. So the packed cell volume will be the same for both of the patient, but the number of RBCs will be different, particularly less in case 1 while more will be in case 2. So here we can see that the RBCs are less in case 1 while they are more in case 2. So by the RBC count we can say that the case 1 has a larger RBCs and case 2 has smaller RBCs. So as we can see that the knowing only packed cell volume or hematocrit of the patient is not enough. We should also know the number of RBCs present in that volume, that we called RBC count, for better understanding of the size of the RBCs. So the next one is hemoglobin concentration. RBCs are not fully packed with hemoglobin. When they are synthesized in bone marrow, we call it erythropoiesis. The maximum amount of hemoglobin which can be packed in one RBC is about 1/3 of the RBCs. So we can say that the RBCs are only 1/3 full with hemoglobin. So if we take 100 cubic millimeter of blood, then the packed cell volume will be 45 cubic millimeter and the hemoglobin concentration will be 45 by 3, 15 gram percentage. So here you can see that I draw a schematic diagram of RBC filled with 1/3 of hemoglobin. So again we have two cases. So two patients having same packed cell volume and RBC count. But in case 1 the hemoglobin is 15 gram percentage, while in case 2 the hemoglobin is 12 gram percentage, which is lesser than the case 1. So here you can see that we have two patients. Case 1 the hemoglobin percentage is 15 gram percentage and in case 2 the hemoglobin is 12 gram percentage, but both of them having same packed cell volume and same RBC count. So we can say that in the case 1 the RBCs are well hemoglobinized, while in case 2 the RBCs are less hemoglobinized. So packed cell volume, RBC count and the hemoglobin concentration, all these three terms are independent to each other. So we should know packed cell volume as well as RBC count in that volume and hemoglobin concentration of each patient for better understanding of the morphology of RBC. Here you can see that these RBCs are well hemoglobinized while these are less hemoglobinized. So let's talk about mean corpuscular volume or MCV. So what is MCV? MCV is an average volume occupied by each RBC. Before we saw packed cell volume, which was the volume occupied by all RBCs, but MCV is an average volume occupied by each RBC. So just simplify this, MCV is packed cell volume divided by number of RBC. So we can see the actual volume occupied by each RBC. So for this calculation the normal values we take is RBC count as 5 million, packed cell volume 45% and hemoglobin is 15 gram percentage. So if we put all the values, then MCV will be 0.45 divided by 5 million. So this one is PCV and this one is RBC count. So the answer will be 90 into 10 raised to minus 15 liter. So 10 raised to minus 15 is called femto. So 90 femtoliter will be the MCV, mean corpuscular volume of each RBC. So the normal range of MCV is 78 to 94 with an average of 87 femtoliter or cubic micrometer. We can also calculate MCV by packed cell volume per 100 ml of blood divided by RBC count in million per microliter into 10. So 45 is a packed cell volume per 100 ml of blood divided by 5 million RBCs multiply by 10. So we get 90 femtoliter or cubic micrometer. So let's talk about mean corpuscular hemoglobin or MCH. So what is MCH? It is the expression of hemoglobin per individual RBC. If we want to know that each RBC contain how much amount of hemoglobin, then we should calculate the MCH or mean corpuscular hemoglobin. So how we can obtain it? We can obtain it by dividing hemoglobin to RBC count. It's simple. It is expressed as microgram or picogram. So normal values ranges from 27 to 31 micrograms or we can say it picograms. So if we put the values in our equation, then MCH will be total hemoglobin percentage divided by RBC count into 10. So 15 divided by 5 into 10, then we will get 30 picogram. So let's talk about mean corpuscular hemoglobin concentration, MCHC. So what it signifies? It signifies the percentage concentration of hemoglobin in a single RBC. So here we are calculating the percentage, the concentration of hemoglobin in a single RBC. The normal value is about 32 to 38%. the value can never be more, but can be less, because metabolically it is not capable to hold more than 38% of hemoglobin. So, MCHC is total hemoglobin in gram percentage divided by packed cell volume into 100, because we want in percentage. So, if we put the values, then 15 divided by 45 into 100. So, we get 33%. As we talked earlier, the mature RBC is 33% full with hemoglobin. Okay, we discussed this earlier. Let's talk about normocytic RBCs. What do we mean by normocytic RBCs? The RBCs which has volume of 78 to 94 femtoliters are called normocytic RBCs. So here we have three type of cell 1, cell 2 and cell 3. All of them having same MCV of 90 femtoliter. So all of them are called normocytic RBCs. But cell 1 has MCH of 30 picogram, cell 2 has MCH of 20 picogram and cell 3 has MCH of 45 picogram. So MCHC will be 33% in cell 1, 22% in cell 2 and 50% in cell 3. So the cell 1 is called normocytic normochromic. Why normochromic? Because it has MCH of 30 picogram. In cell 2 it's called normocytic hypochromic. Why hypochromic? Because it has less amount of hemoglobin in RBC. So MCH is 20 picogram, which is lesser than normal, and MCHC is also less in 22%. In cell 3 the MCH is 45 picogram, which is much higher than normal, and also MCH is higher. So the cell 3 is called normocytic hyperchromic. So here you can see that if a cell has a normal amount of hemoglobin, then the central pallor will be like 1/3 of the RBC. If a cell has less amount of hemoglobin, then the central pallor will increase, and if the cell has much higher amount of hemoglobin, like in cell 3, the central pallor will be decreased. So where do we see this type of blood cells? Normocytic, normochromic. We can see this type of cells normally in our bloodstream, and immediate after blood loss, the cell which are produced, they are normocytic normochromic, because all of the nutrients are available to bone marrow. So let's talk about microcytic RBCs. What do we mean by microcytic RBCs? The RBCs which have mean corpuscular volume less than 78 femtoliters are called microcytic RBCs. So here again we have three type of cells: cell 1, cell 2 and cell 3. If you see carefully, I put smaller diagram of these cells because it's microcytic, their size are small. So here all of cells having MCV of 60 femtoliter. But here in cell 1 the MCH is 20 picogram and MCHC is 33%, while in cell 2 the MCH is 15 picogram, MCHC is 25%, and in cell 3 the MCH is 30 picogram and MCHC is 50%. So here the first cell is called microcytic because it is lesser in size, and normochromic because it has adequate amount of hemoglobin according to its size. Here the size is also small and hemoglobin is also less. So the MCHC is constant 33%. While in cell 2 the size is smaller but hemoglobin content is much smaller. So the MCHC decreased to 25%. So it will say microcytic hypochromic because MCHC is very less compared to cell 1. And cell 3, there are increase in MCHC by 50%. So it called microcytic hyperchromic because of the MCHC is 50%. Sometimes what happen when there is a defect in RBC membrane, the extra membrane is lost. So the RBC volume decreased, but the hemoglobin contents remain same. So the MCHC will increase because of decrease in MCV. So that cell is called spherocyte and the condition is called spherocytosis. Here you cannot see any central para because there is very much decrease in mean cell volume, but MCH is remain constant. So that cell is called microcytic hyperchromic. So this cell microcytic hypochromic we can see in patient of iron deficiency anemia. Now let's talk about macrocytic RBCs. What do we mean by macrocytic RBCs? The larger one, the mean corpuscular volume greater than 95 femtoliters. So if you see here, you can clearly see that I have put larger diagrams of RBCs. So all of them having MCV of 120 femtoliters. So cell 1 having MCH of 40 picogram while MCH is 33%. MCH is 30 picogram in cell 2 while MCH is 25%. And in cell 3 MCH is 60 picogram while MCH is 50%. So cell 1 is called macrocytic because it is larger in size and normochromic. Why normochromic? Because it has high amount of MCH, higher in size plus high amount of MCH, hemoglobin. So it make it normochromic. The second cell, it's called macrocytic hypochromic. Why macrocytic? Because it is larger in size. Why hypochromic? Because it has less amount of hemoglobin compared to the larger size. So it called hypochromic. You have to see the MCHC percentage is 25. Here is 33. In cell 3, it called macrocytic hyperchromic. Why macrocytic? Again, because it's larger in size. Why hyperchromic? Because it has high amount of MCH compared to its size. So MCHC will 50%. So it called macrocytic and hyperchromic. We can see this type of cell like type 1 in megaloblastic anemia. The cells like third one, macrocytic hyperchromic, are practically not possible because metabolically they are not capable to hold more amount of hemoglobin inside the RBC. Now let's talk about color index. What is the color index? It is the numerical expression of the hemoglobin content of the individual red cell. It refers to the ratio of hemoglobin to RBC. For the purpose of color index, 5 millions per cubic millimeter of RBC and 14.5 gram percentage hemoglobin are taken as 100%. Before we were taking 15 gram percentage as our 100% hemoglobin. The color index normally is 1, varying from 0.85 to 1.15. So for calculation of color index, first of all we take the percentage of normal hemoglobin by dividing the HB content obtained by 14.5 and multiply it to 100. So it's like the 40.5 is 100% of hemoglobin, then the obtained one is how much? So we get this formula by multiplying the HB content obtained into 100 and divided by 14.5. Same as for RBC, we can take as if 5 millions are 100%, then obtain is how much? So multiplying obtain by 100 and dividing by 5, we can get our RBC percentage. And for color index, we just divide the hemoglobin percentage of normal to the RBC of normal. So let's talk about oxygen carrying capacity of blood. The oxygen carrying capacity of blood can be calculated from hemoglobin gram percentage, normal oxygen carrying capacity of 1 gram hemoglobin, and blood volume. Normally 1 gram hemoglobin can carry 1.34 ml of oxygen. So for calculating the oxygen carrying capacity of 100 ml of blood, we just multiply the hemoglobin gram percentage into oxygen carrying capacity of 1 gram of hemoglobin. So 15 gram is per 100 ml of blood the hemoglobin is present, and each gram of hemoglobin can carry 1.34 ml of oxygen. So by multiplying 15 into 1.34, we get 20.1 ml oxygen per 100 ml of blood. So it is the carrying capacity of 100 ml of blood. So for whole blood, we just divide 100 ml of blood by 100. So we get 1 ml carrying capacity, and we just multiply it to blood volume. So we get for whole blood. So now let's see about absolute WBC count. Absolute count of different type of white cells is the expression of total number of these cells in the blood stream. So in simple words, we are just converting the percentage into the actual number of cell. So this involves a differential count and total WBC count. So for calculation, the absolute count of a type of WBC is derived from differential count of the cell divided by 100 multiplied into WBC count per cubic mm of blood. So for example, absolute count is total WBC count into percentage. So for example, if total WBC is 6000 per cubic mm and the neutrophils are 60%, then the absolute neutrophil count will be 6000 into 60 by 100 is 3600. 3600 is a 60% of 6000. Clear? Thank you for your attention. See you next time.